Growing up in Lebanon, I get used to the idea of having fresh produce, from a garden to the kitchen, daily during summertime. During the winter, I used to go to the farmer markets where the energy of the people loud, voices yelling for their produce, and have competition to sell the most of their produce. It resulted in benefiting the consumer from cheap bargaining that took place. Quality and quantity are important, but the price of a produce are what varies in the market. Is it expensive or cheaper than our retail stores? This is what makes La Poutine of Farmer markets. This is Sam Michael. I have passion for food, fresh produce, and sure best bargain on the market. When I visited Seattle in 2007, Pike Place was my first stop that reminded me of the old market where I grew up. I remember it was snowing that morning. In a hotel room, 6 a.m., I was dressed and ready to walk to the market. I had a warm cup of coffee in my hand, watching the farmer and the people setting up their flour and produce. Actually, according to Stacy Booth, Pike Place started by real farmers to sell the consumer, cutting out the middleman. It is the longest running market in USA and is still active until now. The thing that stood out for me when I asked one of the inside market produce seller about some of the produce is that I found out that it's not all produce are local and they are shipped from California and Mexico. This explains the price differences, and they're not organics. It makes sense why some fruit are so huge. Pike Place Market is a tourist market where local farmer only can have booths outside on a weekend to sell what they harvest. Since the market became a tourist attraction, Seattle neighborhood farmer markets was born. There is more than 100 neighborhoods farmer market around Seattle. It supports a local farmer and a local produce. They are open once a day a week. They have a website which includes all the information on how to get a permit and license to sell at the market. I find out that the stall prices do change between each neighborhood, leading to a change in some prices of the product. There is no regulation on how much anything costs. It is up to the farmer to set their own prices. I think that's where the prices vary between markets and sometimes are more expensive than a local retail store. Karen Godet, a writer at Seattle Time magazine, disagrees with this statement. She posted an article where a study was made by statistics professors and students from University of Washington and had proven that the price is slightly cheaper than a supermarket. On the other hand, a food writer from Food 52, Caroline Lane, stated that farmer market produce cost way more. However, she supported her statement that at the farmer market there's no standardized measurement. So the consumer might get more quantity for the price they're paying. I personally observed both sides. 3 weeks ago, I bought one bunch of Italian basil at the farmer market. It was huge for $4 only, and I shared it with a friend. There's no way I could find the same quantity and quality at the store in the same price. The counterpart, another farmer was selling a bunch of Swiss chard for $5, and I swear it was only 8 stalks. There is no way I will buy it, since I can find a regular bunch of organic Swiss chard at Whole Food for $2.50. In short, it's all about the honesty of the farmer to put the price for their produce. Next, I talked to my neighbor Dana and I asked how she felt about the pricing at the farmer markets. What are you gonna buy?
I am going to buy a cream cheese kolache and perhaps a apricot. But I'm gonna ask.
How often do you come to farmer market?
I usually try to come at least every weekend. Usually once a week. I don't always go to the same one every weekend though. I like to try different ones.
Do you think it's more overpriced at farmer markets than your regular store?
I think it is more expensive, but I also like the idea that I'm supporting someone local.
And what about the quality compared to your retail store?
I think it's a higher quality, definitely.
Have a good Sunday.
Thank you, you too.
So, if the locals don't care about the money to buy fresh produce, who else does? More than 137,000 households are enrolled in federal food stamps, according to Fresh Puck Seattle. Getting fresh produce for those families are expensive in the area due to high cost of living, so the family can afford it. King County paired up with the farmer markets and provided household food shares with food stamps called Fresh Bucks food share to be used at the local farmer market, and it goes toward fresh produce. When those food shares are in use, low-income family get a discount 50% off. This is an amazing information to know. So even King County agrees that the prices are high at the local farmer markets, that it's not affordable for low-income families. Farmer markets does not consist mainly on fresh produce, especially in the wintertime where local produce here is limited to roots. That's where local baker, cheese maker, fresh pasta maker take an important place in the market. They have to support local farmers and use all their ingredients organic and from locals. Therefore, their price is higher due to the time of the person putting in creating final product. Prices can be high because many of the vendors put a lot of work in their craft. Here is Lauren, owner of a grain artisan bakery stall. Her cake goes for $9 for 3-layer cake and $7 for 2-layer cakes. To be honest, I am addicted. I go bi-weekly to see what type of cake she has. On her website, Lauren, mother of 4-year-old child, launches her business on 2018 from a hobby to a legit baker 4 days a week at different farmer markets. She started from her small kitchen and now to host wedding cakes and ceremony. Lauren explained how much time it takes daily to wake up early morning and work on a dough, as well balance her work with her family time. Reading her hard work and dedication she puts in explains the price and quality of the cake she's selling. In the end, farmer markets are amazing in every neighborhood. A good place for friends, family to meet once a week. Fun to talk and communicate with others, unlike typical retail store. Even to buy one meal to cook that day, it's a lot to share on the table and story to tell. Prices vary, regulation should take place, and would love that farmer markets get bigger everywhere and cheaper, that all low income, high income can purchase fresh produce to enjoy. I still did not get the answer for what happened to the produce at the end of the week.